What's up, traders? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact trades that I took on Friday to profit over $12,000 in my funded accounts. I have the full breakdown here. I used the initial balance setup, failed auction. I used the 15-minute opening range, and I took a trade off of the anchored VWAP. So I'm going to share all my strategies that I used today for how I profited. So the first setup was actually off of the 15-minute opening range. So I'm zoomed out here for a second. I'll zoom in and kind of give you an idea, more detail on the 1 minute. But the 15-minute opening range had been set, and there was actually a small wick to the downside, which a lot of people on YouTube will tell you to take a short immediately. Like some people even have limit orders on the 15-minute opening range low, and they'll automatically take a short. I was not thinking shorts, and I'm going to tell you why, and then I'll zoom in on the 1 minute. So if you look out at the 15-minute chart, you can even see it on the 1 hour, but this whole box right here, I'll make it yellow so you can see it a little bit better. But this yellow box, you can see there's tons of support in this area. There's lots of wicks, and it just keeps bouncing off of this region. It's holding this region. So that's right where the 15-minute opening range was. This is where the 15-minute opening range breakout happened to the downside. I figured it was going to be a fake out to the downside because of all this support. If it was going to continue to the downside, I was going to wait until we got to about 22,832 before considering shorts. So that is one tip right there on the 15-minute opening range. Zoom out and get a little bit more context. All right, so let's zoom in to the 1 minute so you can see what I was actually looking at live during the session. So here is that tiny little wick to the downside. First of all, there wasn't even a 1 minute candle closure below. So wait for confirmation before you consider shorts. And like I said, zoom out and get a little bit of context. So if it's a fake out to the downside, often you can take a reverse trade all the way targeting the other end of the range. So this white line right here is the 15-minute opening range high. So I actually took a long, I entered a long, and I scaled out at the 15-minute opening range high, and I took full profits at just under 23K because there was a regular trading hours gap to be filled. And since it was so close, I figured that we would potentially go up to there. So full profit on trade number one. Trade number two, the first trade I took, I actually took a small loss on my scaling or my trailing stop loss, but I re-entered. So this trade right here, there were actually two trades out of it. It was an initial balance failed auction. So the white line up here is where the 60-minute initial balance high was. The reason I went for a failed auction is a couple things. If you, again, zoom out, get a little bit of context, there was some resistance there. There were also large orders on Bookmap at 23K, and it's a psychological round number, so I figured there would be a chance that we would reject from there. And lastly, that was the regular trading hours gap fill. So I figured we would go up to that and maybe get a little bit of a retracement. I was not looking for a full move to the downside. I really was just targeting this VWAP right here. On the first one, it hit my trailing stop loss, which was right around there. So I had a 20-point stop on that one. I did re-enter on the bounce from the anchored VWAP. So I set up an anchored VWAP here at the high of the day. And you can see that that was resistance for a while as we trailed down. So my second entry was right here at 22,975 where we bounced, and I got the continuation down to VWAP. From there, my third trade was a break of that anchored VWAP. So you can see here that we regained VWAP. We broke through the New York anchored VWAP, which is that light blue line. And then we got some momentum. We had quite a bit of volume, and we broke through the high of day anchored VWAP, which is that green line. So right here. So getting lots of confirmation that we were going to continue the uptrend. So we were trending up in the New York Open, got a little bit of a retracement, but we regained control off of New York, the VWAPs, and had a strong bounce. So I was thinking longs again. So once we got that momentum crossing through all those VWAPs, we crossed through the anchored VWAP from the high of day, I knew that the momentum was back up and buyers were in control. And I took a long, targeting the initial balance high, which was full profit, and that ended up being resistance for most of the day. If you zoom out and look at the rest of the day, the initial balance high was pretty much the resistance for the day, which is very common. So those were my 3 trades for the day. Like I showed you before, profited a little bit over $12,000 on my funded accounts. And hopefully you can see the strategies that I used helped. That gives you some live context into how I use them. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you want me to expand on any of these strategies and how I use them. But I hope that helped you guys. Have a great one.